Hey, No Brains, No Headache listeners. You can find every episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Episodes are available to watch on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, and comment on each episode. Make sure to follow No Brains, No Headache on your favorite social media platform for up-to-date news, clips, and poorly timed jokes. Now let's get into this week's episode.
No brains, no headache. That's the way I like it. Turn my worries into jokes. Set 'em on fire while we light it.
Welcome to No Brains, No Headache Podcast, episode 286. We're back for yet another recording of this mindlessly entertaining show where my co-host and I, we delve into all sorts of topics. Do any of them have anything in common? Absolutely not. Do we jump around a lot and get off topic? You bet your sweet ass. And hosting today is going to be me, yours truly, Jordan Weichel. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. Next to my co-host, my confidant, my longtime friend, Bismarck's funniest comedian. It's the one, the only, the very talented. I like to call him Ongo. It's Matt Cleary. Ongo, how are we doing today?
Good. You know, day off for Martin
President's
Luther King,
Day.
I think, is okay. Got my holidays
President's
mixed
Day.
up. Good start. Yep. So I was a world-class pile of shit today. The only reason I got up to get going is someone mentioned going to a barbecue spot. So now I got a tum-tum full of turkey.
You went to a barbecue spot and got turkey, huh?
Oh, it's so good.
Remember one time I went to Texas Roadhouse, I ordered the chicken fingers and the server ridiculed me. And I'm like, you know what? You guys actually have pretty sweet chicken fingers. So how about you take my order and fuck off?
And it's Texas Roadhouse. You're not getting award-winning barbecue. You're getting stuff that shows up frozen as can be on a giant semi.
Yeah, they just cook the steak for you. That's really all they do. So that's good. The barbecue is good though.
Yeah, it was top notch. My nephew licked me only twice, so you know,
making progress.
I did this thing last week. I bought my nephew a Kit Kat, and it was sitting on my desk at work because I was going to see him later that night.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that.
Football cream.
Nailed it.
But I got it in the morning, and then I was looking at it the whole day. And before the workday ended, I just ate the Kit Kat I got for him. And as I'm just saucing this thing down, I'm like, I'm a monster.
We have created a monster. Uncle Matt is a monster.
Yeah.
Way to go, dude. How was your day off? Did you take the day to rejuvenate?
Yeah, I was just a huge POS. Watched a bunch of new TV shows that I'm trying to get into.
Nice.
Made it like one episode for each of them, but I'm thinking about which one I'm actually gonna dive into.
That's a big decision for you as a guy who usually just watches synopses, if you will, on YouTube, or just reads the Wikipedia plot recap. It's a big step for you. And I want you to be careful. I want you to make the right decision.
I got asked to, like, hey, we're having a bunch of people over. We're gonna watch this movie, and I was like, why does it sound familiar? And I was like, I just watched the 12-minute recap on YouTube. I'm not going to that.
You should have gone and been that guy who's just like, she dies later in the movie. About 32 minutes in, she dies.
Then they get back together. Then they hate each other. Then they find a huge mansion on the island, and then they die. Okay, cool.
You ever drunkenly wrote like a movie plot idea in your notes? Like maybe it's your joke notes or podcast notes, and then read it back and you're like, what was I thinking?
One I just saw before this episode. I have it written down. Haven't erased it yet, but it's duck, duck, goose. But when you goose someone, there's an obstacle course that you have to go through. And the only rule is it has to be like wildly uncoordinated or fat people that do it.
Yeah.
So like it's a combination of like duck, duck, goose and MXC Impact Replay.
Honestly, that's a fantastic idea. I could see Mr. Beast making his next YouTube video is Duck Duck Goose obstacle course.
I mean, it would be awesome. And then I had this other idea of what if they, like the producers of the show Alone and Naked and Afraid, got mixed up and they accidentally dropped someone off naked, like in the Arctic Circle, or like all the contestants were like, They weren't supposed to be naked. Okay, yep, they're all dead.
That would be tough. I mean, you really got to think ahead on that one. I had a movie idea where essentially the plot is somebody manipulates another person via social media influence marketing, and then they teach that person to use it to their advantage. It's
So like a
it's
self-help.
downright. It's very dumb. That's why I just gave you like I don't even I have a whole paragraph here. I'm not going to read it, but what can you do?
Let me ask you this. What do you consider a social media bio red flag?
Well, I already said the F word earlier about 90 seconds into recording. I'm trying to be better with that, so I apologize in advance. Thanks in advance, Tia. But just, to put it diplomatically, I would say, a person who I know has gotten their doors blown off several times by several people, and they're like Ecclesiastes, like a Bible verse in the bio. That's low hanging fruit. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows that.
It's like John 3:16, and they're just getting fucking wobbly aged in a bathroom at a bar. You're like, okay, well, I don't remember that in the Bible.
I didn't want to say it, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, that one's like another kind of more rare one that I don't like seeing is when people have their phone numbers in their bio.
I've never seen that before. It's probably the only one I can think of is a country music artist, and it's like her fan line.
Yeah.
Basically, like where you can get like texts, like up-to-date texts on her new song or album coming out, or like a specific concert somewhere she's playing. But other than that, I'd never seen a phone number in the bio. That's bold as you might as well put Ecclesiastes after that because we know what's happening in the bar bathroom.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 4:2. Another one that like when they're way too into their pets, well, they'll be like, you're like Roger and Kevin's mom, and I'm like, I didn't know she had kids, and be like, oh, those are her dogs.
Yeah, the treating your pets as if they are full on, human children. I guess that'd be I'd throw that a red flag, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like they put where they've lived, but they've lived in like 5 different places. So it's like Washington, Florida, Texas, Ohio, California. It's like all the letters that signify those states with the arrow in between.
The best is when they have the same state. So they'll be like Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, Arizona. It's like, why'd you go back?
Glad Florida worked out for you, but
I saw one. This is what like prompted the whole conversation because I've never seen this before. But I clicked on this girl's profile, and the first thing in her profile just said "horse mom."
She's a horse person, huh?
I was like,
that in itself is a red flag. Like, I really appreciate the Western lifestyle and how hard they work, but when you're a horse person, there's an argument to be made that it's almost as bad as a cat person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just a horse is a more expensive cat.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. At least like if you're like a rancher with like, Black Angus beef, we can eat those. We're going to eat those. They're going to be steaks someday. Like they're reproducing, we're multiplying the herd. There's a little bit of kickback, some dividends, some investment, some profit. I'm just throwing up like big financial terms right now, but you get where I'm going with this. You start butchering your horse, that's red flag,
I always
so
think
there's a dead end road with the horses is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I feel like if you're like survival situation and you have to eat a horse, fine. But I always think like if I was in one of those like the movie Alive where they're stranded on the mountain, where they're like, we're gonna have to start eating each other. I feel like I would be the one that would start eating people too soon.
I would never eat you. I want you to know that. Not because I like you or anything, it's because I think you would taste terrible.
Yeah, I feel like I would taste like Texas
I'd be like, I would shoot if they're like, we need to eat somebody, and I have the gun. I would shoot you, and then be like, all right, we're eating Matt. I was like, no, I just kind of wanted to shoot him.
He's been
Seemed like-
talking a
Yeah,
lot.
seemed like a pretty good time to shoot this guy, and nobody's really gonna question it. I mean, you guys want to eat him? Go ahead. I'm gonna eat Roger over here. Roger looks way more delicious.
But I don't know why that hurt my feelings so much, saying that you wouldn't eat me, but it did.
I mean, you know, it's something we don't think about. That's what we bring to the table on No Brains, No Headache. Be hard pressed to tell me otherwise.
For a while, every room I would walk into, and I would gauge at which human I would eat if we were stuck in that room.
That's a red flag. Did me and you play that game for a while where it was like find the fattest person in the store?
No, but I've definitely
I didn't play that with you.
I played a similar game. We played Find the Pedo, and you'd run around and you'd try to find a guy that was the pedophile.
Oh, similar concept, same but different.
You'd be like, "That's the definitely guy that's the pedophile," and my friend would be like, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I played one where you had to find the largest human being, and I'm not talking about like height. I'm talking about weight. And you got like 2 shots at it, so you could like point someone out and be like, "That's the person." But if you wanted to change it, your second person, you had to lock in. And then whoever picked the fattest person won. Pretty simple concept, you could say.
Sounds actually rather fun. Just go into Target, grab a Slurpee or something, walk around.
Well, we will definitely play it this weekend when you are down in Arizona, which I'm very excited about.
Sounds fun.
But we got a shout out, ladies and gentlemen. In my intro, I wasn't just making fun of Matt when I said Bismarck's funniest comedian. Over the weekend, Matt took home the crown, quite literally, and was named Bismarck's funniest comedian. So, Matt, first of all, congratulations. Super proud of you. Before you went into it, I'm like, dude, you're going to win. No problem. Walk us through the night.
So basically I showed up at, well,
Okay, I didn't mean that detailed of a walkthrough, but go with what you feel.
So basically had some beers.
6:59. I was tying my shoelaces.
Yeah.
Then I said,
Basically just had some beers, went and did stand up for 5 minutes. Cole put on an awesome show. There was a ton of people there. I didn't think I did all that well, but there was 3 judges that did think I did pretty well, so that worked out. And then I found out that I'm really bad about receiving compliments because it makes me so uncomfortable. That one guy that I hadn't seen in a while was like, "Hey, congratulations." And my response was, "Have you been coyote hunting lately?"
That doesn't know how to respond.
That's
Hilarious. Was it tough to get everything in 5 minutes? Like, do you feel like, did you pull out your best stuff? Was this new stuff? Where did you go with the content of your material?
The first part of it was like pretty much just stuff I thought of when I was like waiting to go up. And then I had like 2 jokes that I wanted to do. And that was about it.
Did you get like, because the judges are just kind of judging in their own mind, but the roar of the crowd, did you feel the energy from the crowd during your set?
Yeah, but like I'm really bad about like reading that. I could tell that I didn't do awful, but I wasn't sure I did really well.
Okay.
The one part that really did get the crowd going was I said that I was single, and some lady was just like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Fuck you." And that got the crowd going pretty well.
So out of 10 total comedians, correct?
Yep.
And I mean, obviously there's more than that in the area. I don't think there's many more, to be honest with you. But in this particular contest, there was 10. Everybody did their 5 minutes. And then like what happened? Did the judges bring up like a top 3 or the final 2 and then announce the winner? Or like what was the format like?
They basically like deliberated for like 15 minutes, which we didn't think it was probably 10 minutes, but it just seemed like forever because we had a big old Dom up there who was wearing a sports jacket with nothing underneath. And he had to like, I said before, and I was like, "Dom, you should bring your guitar and just play like 2 songs." Well,
yeah.
And they didn't do that. And so it was kind of just chaos. At one point, we were all singing a Smash Mouth song. Like the whole crowd was just somebody wants to. It was actually kind of sweet.
That sounds cool.
But then they announced like the top three. They said third place guy, and then me and Brandon Loftus, who's been on the show, were sitting next to each other. Just like someone had left, and we were just sitting like in the crowd. And then they announced Brandon, and he's like, "I think you won." And I was like, "No, I was probably Samson or like Dallas." And he's like, "Nah, I think you won." And I was like, "Probably not though." And then they announced that I won.
So did you go up on stage? Like
Yeah.
what happened then?
They just asked me a couple questions, and crowd was yelling stuff at me.
Were you like, "You can all eat shit"?
Yeah, I didn't pull the Jordan Weichel, like, first of all, fuck you guys. Basically like sat up there. Someone's like, "Take your jacket off." And I'm like, I'm sweating so much underneath my armpits that I'm not taking my jacket off.
Did you get a trophy or
no?
Just like a crisp high five, perhaps?
Yeah. I do get to open up for
oh yeah.
I Mom So Hard is a comedian group. I have never heard of them, but they have millions of followers.
Yeah, probably because they think it's never mind.
Yeah. Trust me, I had the same thought. And I might try some things, but I get to open up for Dimitri Martin too, which is pretty cool because he was like one of the first comedians that I ever like listened to growing up as a kid. Like had his like album on my iPod, so that'll be kind of cool.
What are the details on that show? Let everybody know so they can come check it out.
February 27th and 28th at the Belle Mayhouse. I think show starts at 8. Nice. Don't quote me on that.
So it's a 2-nighter.
Yep.
And are you allotted your 5 or do you get 10?
15 minutes.
Oh shit, you're gonna have to triple your material, my friend.
Yeah, but it was kind of nice because I didn't really plan for this show. I just kind of like looked at my 35-minute set that I have and was like, all right, what jokes should I do? And just started reading jokes off. And then people were like, do that one. So like I can basically just cut that in half and I'm good.
Nice. And who took third, if you don't mind me asking?
Nathan Smezrud.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he did really well. Honestly, everyone did really well. Like there was a ton of laughs. Like, yeah, I mean, I did walk in on a guy taking a dump before the show. Whoa. And he was pretty nice about it, but I was like, "Oh, sorry." And he's like, "No problem at all." And I was like, "Seems like a kind of a problem." But then like my first joke was I was like, "Guys, we're too polite here. We're not locking doors anymore." I walked in on a guy taking poop and he told me to go between his legs. So
and then that dude from the crowd was like, "That was me, dude."
As he's just slurping down his 4th double Jack Coke.
Nice. Was there anybody out of the 10 that was like perhaps overly confident and then they didn't win, or somebody who thought they're going to win, it didn't? Obviously you won, so anybody but you?
No, I think we're all pretty I would say low self-esteem individuals for the most part. So there wasn't really a lot of bragging. Yeah. There was a lot of just talking shit behind the scenes, like shooting the shit before was really fun.
Yeah, those are always the best parts of comedy shows. I talk about it with people who come on my interview series that are comedians, or when you and I talk to comedians. Literally, one of the best parts of doing a show and being a comedian is just kind of hanging out in the back, shooting the shit with the fellow comedians. So, Matt, I just want to say congratulations. I know you're not the best at taking compliments, but you should be super proud of that. I'm glad that you guys got that show under your belt. Sounds like a great idea. Glad to see that the comedy community is still going strong, and I'm happy for you guys. So that's what I'm going to say there. I also have another shout out. Shout out to Matt's mom for sending me a birthday card 6 weeks late. In her defense, she didn't know my address across the country, but thank you to Matt's mom for the birthday card. Really appreciate that. All that money was spent at the gas station earlier. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, some Zins, Celsius, and gasoline, all mixed together.
You just dunking them in. Oh,
Well, I went and bought my Zin and Celsius, also known as my energy source. And then I went to the person at the counter. She gave me my change back, and I just slid it back across. I said, put the rest on pump one. It was like $9.
So like before the show, they have like a bar that's connected to this venue, and I was like in there just playing E-tabs machines, and like the show had started, and I didn't realize it. And then one of my friends comes up, is like, "Aren't you on this show?" And I was like, "Yeah, when's it start?" And they're like, "They're going right now," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna
Did you
play
win
out this
anything?
20, and then I'll be ready to go."
Did you lose it all?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. My parents were just on a little road trip vacay over the weekend, and I get a picture sent to me, and it's pull tabs, and they pulled $600. And it just upsets me when I see other people have success, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a big I'd rather just no one be successful. Like, let's all tone it down.
Yeah. I think I'm really adopting your lifestyle choice of just kind of lower those expectations, and you're not as disappointed. It's really working out.
Yeah, I mean, I've been buying my toddler nephews pull tabs when we go to breweries and stuff to eat.
Nice.
Then I open to see if they win, and then I let them play with it. And I saw my niece put the pull tab into her notebook, and I was like, I hope she takes that to school tomorrow.
Yeah, it just falls out. Oops, my bad.
Yeah.
What else we got? Housekeeping. We're gonna go long for housekeeping, ladies and gents, loyal listeners. Just you know what? We're in it. This is the grind right here. This is the show. So Matt, what else do we have for housekeeping?
There was a curling controversy in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So Team Canada was playing against Team Sweden.
Yep.
And basically, the guy from Canada was doing this thing in curling that we call double touching. It's when you release the rock, but then you flick the bottom of it to give it a little bit more oomph or a little bit more spin. Yeah. And I didn't know this, but like the top of the rock has a sensor, and you have to let it go before the line.
That
and
green
if you're
line?
So if you're still holding on to it, it'll be a foul.
Yep.
But the rock doesn't have that. So touching it, and Sweden knew about it beforehand. So they set up their camera so that it would perfectly show it. So like the camera that everyone sees of him doing it was Sweden's camera that they set up.
Clear as day.
Yeah. And in typical like Midwest Canadian fashion, when someone blames you for doing something, you immediately deny, almost aggressively, because he was quoted. He said, "Yeah, you double touched there." And his immediate response was, "You can fuck off."
In such a Canadian accent, too. He's like, "You can fuck off."
Yeah. But I do love that it's called the hog line.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that, but I love that.
And I would say like golf is a gentleman's sport. Like you call your own fouls, but there are people out there. There's no one in curling. Like even on this stage, like they'll literally just go and like they'll have officials to measure like which rock is closer, but that's just like an instrument they use. So they're not really like making any. So it's all like call your own fouls. And the fact that he's like, "No, I wasn't doing this." It's like, you got to believe that at the Winter Olympics, there's going to be at least a couple cameras.
Well, first of all, I didn't know it was Sweden's camera, so kudos to them. Perfect placement. It was like just parallel, perfectly in line with that green line, because I saw it on Twitter. I'm not sure where everybody else saw the footage from, but yeah, he lets go of the handle, and then at the very end, the what do you call it? Is it the rock?
Yeah.
Okay, the rock is already past, like starting to pass the green line. So at that point, you can't touch it anymore. But he just does the slightest little tickle at the back end there, and ultimately, I don't know enough about curling to know if that like made a difference or not. But I mean, rules are rules. What ended up happening? I mean, I saw this controversy. I saw the fuck off, which is fantastic. But what happened? Who won?
I think
because if Canada wins, then I would like be super pissed off. But if like Sweden ended up winning, it would just be like, okay, whatever. Like you cheated and we still beat you. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
really know who won, and I don't really care all that much, just because like the confrontation, these are two of the best teams in the Olympics. It's like US, Canada, Sweden, and usually like Norway or Finland are really good.
Yeah.
And so the Swedish guy just goes, it's a 20 kilogram of granite. You don't touch it without know you're touching it, because it's like physically impossible to like, if you brush up against a piece of paper and it flies away, like, oh, maybe I didn't feel it. You're feeling that. And
on
then
on the world's biggest stage of all
yeah.
places.
And like this is like outside of the world championships, this is probably the biggest. And so the Canadian guy, who's like fully caught at this point, said, I've curled my whole life, never once with my intention of getting an advantage through cheating. So when my integrity gets attacked, I get my back up against the ball and I get a little bit aggressive. It's like you immediately were like, you can fuck off.
Yeah, it was not the right thing to do at the wrong time for sure. What I will say is curling is pretty electric. I don't know if anybody saw the masterclass that the USA women's team put on against Canada, but I saw like the rundown of like their, is it a curling match, Matt? I don't know. Is it called a match? Curling what a game? What are we talking here?
I know that
A duel?
It's called an end. Canada did end up winning. I just saw that.
Well, that's controversial.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a game, a match.
All right. Well, the curling match, we'll call it for the sake of this discussion and just getting on with our lives. Yeah, the U.S. women, I mean, just the way they were throwing that rock, I mean, gliding that rock. There's so many terms. I have no idea what the preferred nomenclature is. But yeah, they had one where they cleared out all three of Canada's rocks. And then just the cherry on top, like it's their turn. And it just perfectly right into the center target, let's call it. And they didn't even need the target. They just needed to get it a point in there and they were fine. They started celebrating before it even ended in the middle of the bullseye, we'll call it. And it was just electric. It was fantastic. It was cool to see. I love watching them yell at each other, you know, as they're like,
yeah. Because when they want them to sweep, they yell "hurry," which I feel like you could just be
the
like,
"Line is good, line is good, line is good." It's like, no, we get the line is good.
Dude, did you see the guy who was trying to like? So after it hits and goes past half of the house or half of the bullseye, the other team can start sweeping it to get it to go out, and a guy just fell over onto all the rocks and like just scattered them. So they're like, we don't know what to do. And I think the caption of the video is like, how is this at the highest level of any sport? And it's this guy just, whoa, boom.
This is a bit off subject, but it reminds me of a time that I took a crew of fellas out ice fishing, and we were in the cabin that night playing poker, and like everything was uneven in the old Weichel cabin. And one of my friends was just so intoxicated that we had to give him like a Tupperware bowl to put his chips in, because they kept on, like, he just kept on flopping all around. So at one point he like goes to the bathroom. There's like 4 people left, including him. He comes back to the table. As he's sitting down, he kicks out one of the legs of the table, and literally chips just went flying everywhere. And they all just looked at each other like, okay, let's just split the pot like 3 ways. You don't get any since you caused this. That's what that reminds me of.
But like I mean, curling's having a pretty good day. If their largest controversy in sports history has been a guy flicking the rock a little bit past the hog line.
Flicking the bean past the hog line. What can you do? You know, some people in subcultures, they prefer that.
What culture?
It was a sexual innuendo, but I digress. No, curl. Do we just forget about curling for 4 years after, like, it's like Olympics, 4 years of nothing, and then let's romanticize curling for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
pretty much. I mean, that's a lot of the sport. Like uh cross country skiing, they're like, here they go, and it's just guys basically fast walking, and you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Or like when they take the gun off their back and shoot it. Like,
Mhm.
I would just use the air rifle to shoot the other competitors.
It's hard to beat me when you're dead.
Yeah, it's like most of those guys in the comedy competition, I drugged them beforehand, so pretty easy win.
Yeah, just go out with the boys beforehand and keep buying them rounds of beers, and you're just drinking non-alcoholic beer. That'd be a strategy. Put a little X-Lax in their beer. I don't know. What can you do? Well, all I have left for housekeeping, rocking a solid 31 minutes of housekeeping today, and that's how we like to roll sometimes. Cheeseburgers and Phil Collins. Now, these are two different topics, and all I have to say is I bought 3 pounds of ground beef the other day, and I've been eating cheeseburgers every day since. Air frying a cheeseburger, that's the play. Definitely the play. I'll say that. Phil Collins, turns out he has more great songs besides In the Air Tonight. I just
Oh, yeah.
discovered that. Yeah, I just discovered that. So we've been listening to a lot of Phil Collins, eating a lot of cheeseburgers lately, and I just wanted to tell you guys about that. In case you're wondering, and you're saying, "Hey, I need something new to listen to," check out Phil Collins Beyond In the Air Tonight. How do I prepare burgers besides the grill? Boom.
I have
Air
this
fryer.
buddy Colin who's obsessed with Phil Collins.
Okay.
And what was the Grammys that I was watching the other night
Yeah.
with him? And he was like, if Phil Collins came out right now, I would come in my pants. I was
Oh.
like, okay.
That's super aggressive. He's got this song called Another Day in Paradise. Now, not to be confused with other songs of that era with Paradise.
Cheeseburger in.
Yeah, well, that one too. Easy Lover. You Can't Hurry Love. A lot of love. You'll Be in My Heart. You know.
That's from Tarzan.
Oh, that's where that's from?
Yeah.
Huh? What the
You'll
heck?
be
In my heart. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into it, shall we? Let's get it on.
Okay. Let's party.
Like I mentioned earlier, I've been watching a lot of TV shows. And I've been really getting into Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's a Game of Thrones show. And the last episode I watched earlier today, and I was like, that was one of the better episodes that I've ever watched of anything. And I looked it up right now, and it is the second best TV episode by rating of all time.
Now, is there still time for that rating to come down a touch?
And it probably will as time goes on.
What's the first one, if you don't mind me asking?
There's only one episode that has a 10.0 overall, and it is Ozymandias, the second to last episode of Breaking Bad.
Okay. That makes sense.
And that has 287,000 reviews and still has a 10.
Wow. That's hard to do.
Which is like, and I was looking up because I think since I wrote that down, Night of the Seven Kingdom has fallen, but like literally I haven't seen a ton of these shows. Like Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones are all like have a bunch of them up there. But like BoJack Horseman has number 3 overall.
What about the episode of Entourage where he has to plow that dude's wife to make the movie?
I'm just going to scroll until I see it. There's an episode of SpongeBob, the one where he sings at the halftime of
Yeah.
That is the number 20 ranked episode of any show of all time.
I actually remember that vividly, so that tracks. What about the Even Stevens episode where he digs a tunnel under his house? That
I will
one's
shoot
pretty
myself in the head right now if an Even Stevens episode is in the top 100.
sweet. Okay, I guess not. What about?
Like The Office has a couple in there.
I'm sure The Office does. What about Rust Valley Restores? Is there any of those on there? That's reality TV. I mean, it could still get a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, this just makes me want to watch a bunch of shows.
What about the episode of Rust Valley Restores where they build the demolition derby car and then forget to put oil in it and the engine seizes 2 minutes into them getting it off the trailer?
Honestly, that would probably be in my top 100 of all time because that's just you have the greatest clip of. I don't know how we don't have the Avery clip where he's like,
Just a bunch of ding dongs. What about is there any Survivor on there? Or is this like scripted TV?
Yeah, it's like script. I don't think they count.
Like reality competition.
The Sopranos has a couple in there.
Oh my heavens! Which one?
Long-term parking.
Okay.
Tony
you can't give me the title of any episode of any show ever. I need the
Tony scrambles to contain Tony B's fallout while Christopher and Adriana face mounting pressure that tests loyalties at home and inside the crew.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that the one where Chris is just doing a bunch of drugs?
Ooh,
Is that the one where they kill off Adriana? That's a good episode. You do not see that one coming. They like as a viewer, you walk right into that one just like Adriana did. Boom, you're dead. That's what you get for working with the FBI on the side.
Yeah, so like I've just been meaning to watch a lot more shows. I started Pluribus, which is Vince Gilligan. And apparently it's so good that they're considering Breaking Bad his third best show he's ever made behind Better Call Saul and Pluribus.
I'm just still a little shocked that even Stevens isn't on this. Like the rummage sale episode, great. Where he sells everything, including the tables. God, that's good. How do you come up with that? That's rich.
I can't remember, is it the movie one where Ren forgets to do her science experiment and then just sings a song about going to the moon and gets a 0?
1969, it was lunar, right?
Yeah, it's like not 1970, not 1968, but a year later.
Nailed it.
Yeah, something like that. It's might have to go watch some Even Stevens after this. I've been just pounding Fresca.
I've been drinking water today as well as my Celsius. Started my big boy job today at an organization that will remain nameless on this podcast. Matt, I made a turkey and cheese sandwich and then a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like a child. And I don't even have a lunch sack. So I literally showed up to work just with these 2 sandwiches and sandwich bags just exposed. And I just like in the fridge is all these like lunch box things. And then there's just my 2 sandwiches.
Yeah. The first couple months at a job, you can get away with this because no one thinks you're going to do it. Eat other people's foods.
Oh man, I've been so tempted.
Because they're like, no one's going to have the cojones on them in their first week to just hammer down everyone's lunches.
Well, I need to figure out how to make the coffee, like work the industrial coffee maker, as I will just mess up some coffee and then promptly mess up the facilities. Anyway, am I up?
Yep.
So I went to church the other day. Yeah, old Jordan goes to church. Now I wasn't. Yes, Matt.
What denomination?
This is a Catholic church. Thank you.
Okay.
And I didn't go there with the intention of like, oh, this would be good podcast material. However, as I went about my church going experience, there was just some doozies, which prompted me to be like, okay, I gotta talk about this. So I dressed very casually, just some nice pants and a quarter zip, Sunday morning. And that proved to be a huge mistake as I got in there, and the church was no less than 85 degrees. So not only was I praying for you, Matt, and praying for all of our listeners and all my close loved ones, I was also praying for the air conditioning to turn on for the love of God, quite literally. He was right there. I was like, please give me some AC. I didn't have to go too far. I think I acclimated after a little bit, but I felt like the sweat just going down my back, which is just A, I was uncomfortable being in church. B, I was sweating my ass off. And when the choir was singing, right? I enjoy the choir singing, and as a podcast guy, as an audio person, I'm always very critical of other people's audio, right? And so it's like the beginning of church, and I'm hearing this singing, and I'm like, gosh, their microphones like might be off a touch, or like one of their like settings is off, because that just doesn't sound right. Then we all sit down, and I can see across the way that it's the children's choir. Does that make me a bad person? I don't know.
It would if you knew it was the children's choir and you were like, God, they suck.
I'm not gonna lie. There's room for improvement. Like, that we could do better. Okay. Yeah, because
stop.
Yeah, no, it was straight up that scene from School of Rock where Summer starts singing, and it's just like, ooh, because you could tell there was one try hard in the choir that you could distinctly put their voice above the rest. But then, so Matt, what do you call it when you're the person who brings up like the gifts? Are you the gift bearer, where you bring up like the holy, like the water and like the oil, or what do you bring up?
We always called it like hospitality, because like you would
Okay.
give out programs and you would collect the money, and then like you'd be like the hospitality team for that mass.
Yeah, but they brought up like the water or the oil,
like the gift bearers, or
something. Gift. We'll go with gift bearer.
Yeah.
Gift bearer homeboy is wearing his sunglasses on his head, and I'm like, bro, you can't put down the Oakleys for an hour.
Were they white Oakleys?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, they were like the white, like I don't even just I want everybody who's listening right now to picture just the most cliche dad Oakleys that they can.
They're Oakley gas cans, if you want to know.
No, it wasn't gas can. It was like the baseball kind of looking ones, like this.
Like the ones that all 7-year-olds have. Yeah,
I actually have a pair, but
weren't they the ones that I gave you?
No, I don't. No, I lost those promptly after you gave them to me. But
yeah,
no. So, but I'm just saying, like, it's one thing if you're in the congregation and you like. First of all, we are inside. No need for sunglasses. Just leave them in your car. You can go 45-second walk to your vehicle without UV protection to your eyeballs. And if you just got out of some sort of LASIK surgery, maybe church isn't the spot for you. But when you are the gift bearer, and it's a dude and his wife, like they were a couple doing the gift bearing together, why is she not saying, hey, honey, can we put the Oakleys in the pocket just for a few minutes? Like the gift bearer was wearing Oakley sunglasses on his head at a Catholic church mass in front of everybody. God deserves more respect than that, I would argue. You think God was wearing Oakleys? I don't think so. I think Jesus would have killed for some Oakleys when he was up on the cross bleeding to death.
Yeah, or walking through the desert for 40 days and be like, my eyes fucking hurt.
Yeah, now he's just rubbing the Oakleys in their face. Anyway, it just bothered me. So I was like, okay, this has been like a real fiasco. Kind of chilled out, cooled down. I just, got my thoughts together. I was trying to be respectful, and I was trying to focus on not content for the podcast, but my relationship with God. That's why you go to church. It was really hard for me to focus on my relationship with God when I got to my seat towards the end, and I realized the whole time I was sitting in a handicap spot.
Wow.
The entire time I was sitting in a handicap spot, and I was like, why are people looking at me all funny? I figured out why. Figured out real quick why.
If it makes you feel any better, you probably looked the part.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, at least I wasn't wearing fucking Oakleys on my head. I mean, some people sit in the handicap spot. Other people can't take their Oakleys off their head for 5 minutes. And I was a handicap guy. So
I feel like if you're like in a wheelchair or something, God didn't answer your prayers and you shouldn't be going to church.
well, I've never been to this church before, obviously. A little bit out of my element. But I wanted to go. I was just feeling it. It felt right. So I went. And I just kind of went on in the back row. I saw an open spot. Boom. I took it. I capitalized. It wasn't until I came around to my spot where I saw the big handicap sticker on the side. So, sorry, God.
It's tough when you go to a away game. You haven't been to that church. You don't know all the ins and outs.
Yeah, no. I might take a few weeks off just to kind of lay low.
The last time I went to church on Christmas, I timed out how long it took me to go through a cough drop beforehand, and then I took 4 cough drops. So I knew I'd be like, 1 cough drop down, immediately put in another one. 2nd cough drop down. I'm like, nice, we're halfway there. 3rd cough drop down. Got that done. We were done in 45 minutes. It was awesome.
Wow, it's a record for Christmas Mass in the Catholic Church. Good for you. But yeah, I went to church, so I prayed for everybody. You're welcome. No big deal.
Okay, well, we're going to stay on that topic. Pornhub released on Valentine's Day on the of the states that they're not like banned from.
Okay, I see that now.
They released pretty much what the most searched word was. And a lot of them are like girlfriend,
BBC,
softcore, BBC. But then you get to places like the District of Columbia.
Face sitting. Delaware. Strap on. Apparently there's a lot of geriatrics in Maryland because they're searching granny.
Yeah. And I don't know what's going on in hugging and how easy they can just ejaculate, but hugging seems insane.
Down in good old New Mexico. It's, that's right. That's my neighbor these days. I might have to go get some hugs on one of these days, if you know
So
what
is
I mean.
everyone in New Mexico just hugging each other and just splooging all over the place?
They're hugging each other because they're so high on meth that they just kind of fall into each other. And it's like Oregon has leather. I've never found leather to be a turn on. Matter of fact, if you do wear leather, let's just keep your distance.
Well, what if they're leather pants?
Apparently, all the beautiful people of Minnesota are having mutual orgasms, which makes, that's very Valentine's, on theme for Valentine's. That's very thoughtful. If you're going to have a mutual orgasm, I think Valentine's Day is the time to do it.
I just imagine someone in Washington, D.C. that is lonely, that walks out of their apartment and just goes, sit on my face.
Well, it happens all the time. Ohio.
Wow.
Car sex. So everybody lives with their parents still, so they have to plow it out in their car. Apparently in Wisconsin, hygiene is not of a top priority because their top search was hairy bush. And I want to say, I think the bush is actually coming back. I know everybody else says it for laughs, but I genuinely think that the bush is coming back.
I mean, they're selling underwear now that has a fake bush that comes out of it.
That's ridiculous. You ever You ever never mind. Alaska-
Connecticut, cuddling.
I mean, then in Maine is cuck.
Yeah. Just
And then their neighbors, New Hampshire's cheating. So like I don't know what's going on in the northeast region of this country, but if you and your significant other are planning like a little vacay out to New Hampshire / Maine, I don't know many people who consider that a vacation destination. Just be aware of that.
yeah. Well, I love that people in Boston are just spanking each other.
That would be called a fist fight, and they just assumed. I can't imagine, like, you know how everything's more expensive in Alaska? I mean, batteries must be real expensive because their top search was vibrator.
Don't they just use like an old elk horn or something? A walrus tusk?
It's actually a diesel engine. Like
Yeah.
Alaska's fuck machines are just diesel powered.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we took out the old engine out of the Cummins, and now you're gonna be coming.
I'm gonna have to go back to church after this. Son of a gun. Well, I'm glad that North Dakota nor Arizona made it on this list because we're gonna keep that a secret. We're gonna keep that anonymous. What else? Yeah, I think it just says a lot about your state. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going through what we saw on social media this week, and we have sent each other a lot of really good things.
Oh, I saw another one, but you go ahead.
What was this? 21-year-old driver was cited after getting hit by a train. I think the least of his problem is being cited. I think he should be happy to be alive.
For sure. There's no doubt about that. I saw something, and maybe you've come across this. I feel like our algorithms are very similar since we send each other a lot of reels and whatnot. But there's a woman who inherited her dad's hoarder house. Are you familiar with this one? Okay, she inherited her dad's hoarder house, and so it's just kind of like this, the series where she just shows. And I love progress videos, like before and afters, or if you're like building something from scratch. I love that stuff. But she grew up there, and now she's cleaning it up. She inherited from her father, and now it's time to kind of clean it up, make it livable again, and probably I mean, you're gonna have to redo everything in a hoarder's house. So I've seen a few of these videos. And then I was just watching one the other day, and she's like kind of addressing like a lot of like comments she's getting. And it's not like hate comments, but just questions people have. And one of the questions was like, does anybody help you with this? And she's answering it. She's like, yeah, like my husband kind of helps me like lift like the bigger stuff, like heavier stuff. But for the most part, she does the work by herself just because she prefers it that way. Then she goes on to say, she's also, the reason she does it herself is because, quote, she is not ready for those dearest to her to see where she grew up. Yet she is posting this on social media and has over 466,000 followers. I think they're going to figure out where you grew up. I just have this gut feeling they're going to find out. You might as well just invite them over and be like, hey, you know what? Wear a hazmat suit and get your ass to work. Like, I have a lot of trauma in this house. I don't want anyone to see it. However, if it gets 3.2 million views and I get paid from that, no problem. No problem.
Man.
So do you want people to see it or do you not? Is what is very confusing to me.
I don't think she really cares at that point.
I know, but I just thought it was like funny that she's answering these like questions from the comments, and she like her reasoning is like, oh, I'm going through this trauma myself. I would prefer if nobody else sees it. And it's like, hold on a minute. Let's just back up a touch. You don't want people to see something that you're posting on social media, and this was just on Facebook where she has 466,000 followers. That's almost 500,000 we're approaching just on Facebook. I just have this weird gut feeling that those dearest to you are more than likely going to see your dad's hoarder house that you are cleaning up. It's just, okay, if you don't want anyone to see it, then don't set up the tripod and don't press record every time. How about that? How about you just go about your business and just clean it out yourself? We don't need to post it on social media if that's what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting so worked up about this, but it's just redundant. It doesn't make any sense.
Couple sues IVF clinic after DNA testing reveals that son is not theirs. The kid is either black or Indian. These two people are as white can be.
Or how about the one where I sent you? It's just it looks like if you were out camping and you needed to like source your own wood, like from the forest. Free logs / large branches of trees, and it's like, just like imagine like a laundry pile. Like that's how big this is, and it's just random logs. Queen Creek, Arizona. Oh yeah, let me drive out to Queen Creek for your pile of logs.
I love this one that was just it's like a meme on Facebook that said all Coach Carter said was to get a 2.3 GPA and buy a tie from Goodwill, and everyone lost their minds.
Oh, that is some good, clean family fun. I guess we could just go through our old texts.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Or this chick, this chick who's got the mugshot you sent me, and her t-shirt in it says, "Don't shoot, I'm white."
Or the guy that got arrested for banging a vacuum cleaner at a resort.
Oh, man. Bizman online garage sale. Utility cart / wheelbarrow, $20. And this thing has been in the back of a barn for about 45 years. I don't understand people.
Also, a moment of silence for James Vanderbeek passing away.
Jonathan Moxon. I brought him up last week. I should have known better to bring him up. I bring him up last week, and now he's dead. Rest in peace.
And the guy from The Natural just died too.
Who the heck is that?
Robert Redford.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. What the heck?
Never mind. That was 6 months ago.
No.
Robert Duvall died.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say, I just saw this before we started recording. Yeah. Robert Duvall died yesterday. He's the dad in Kicking and he's the dad in Kicking and Screaming.
Oh yeah.
Classic. I love how he's probably got like way more prominent movies than that, and I just bring up Kicking and Screaming. Secondhand Lions, underrated film.
Oh yeah, I remember that was
He's in Days of Thunder. Imagine that. Oh, no. It's a mental note for our new listeners out there. We talk about nap movies a lot. Do not try to take a nap during Days of Thunder. It's just not going to happen.
Have you ever heard of the movie Wrestling Ernest Hemingway? Because it sounds terrible.
No, it doesn't sound good. He's also the dad in 4 Christmases. Great role there.
He's in Deep Impact. The movie, not the porn.
He's also in Apocalypse Now, Lonesome Dove, Open Range, To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962. Gone in 60 Seconds. Wow, this guy is... Woo. He's got some bangers, dude. But also, rest in peace to Robert Redford, of course.
Yeah.
Matt, let's keep her going. Episode 286. We're going long, but that's okay. What's next?
All I had in my notes is I saw this guy. He's been going bar hopping at 7 a.m. on Saturdays. And I really want to try it.
Sounds fantastic.
It sounds awesome. He's like, he did it by himself. So he's just in Philadelphia, walks to a bar, gets there. He's just drinking a Miller Genuine Draft at 7 a.m., chatting it up with the bartender who's probably still there from the night before. And then he goes to like 3 or 4 more bars, has like 8 or 10 drinks, and goes home at noon.
I was doing that early in the football season when the Vikings were playing across the ocean abroad. And local time, the game started at 6:30 kickoff. So for 2 weeks there, I was pretty much doing the same thing on Sunday mornings. I would literally go to bed at like 3 or 4 and take like a quick power nap and then just go to the bar. And dive bars that are open late and then early again, some of the worst like cleaning chemical smells you will get in this world are in bars that are open till, let's just say, 2 a.m. and then open up again at 6. Because I remember like I wasn't feeling the best, obviously. Like, I partied the night before, like at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Like, cut me a break. I hate international football games. But I got there, and like what really like was triggering some nausea was just the smell of bleach that they must have used to just clean these floors. Just a quick little mop before everybody piles back in again. It was rough.
I feel like those bars just like get everyone out and then they like throw a flashbang of bleach inside. And just, I'm like, all right, we should be good.
It was bad like in the bar, but then when I went to the bathroom, it was like 100 times worse. And I remember I came back to my seat and like the people I was watching with were like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, if you go to the bathroom, like
it's just
hold your
ammonia.
breath. It is. It straight up smelled like, it was ammonia straight up. It just, it was bad. So I can feel that guy, but at least with the Saturday thing, you kind of wake up, you get going. Like I love doing, I think everybody can agree that like, waking up and early and getting going for the day, seeing that sun still coming up, it's a good feeling. You feel accomplished. Now you're just mixing that with the bar scene, but you're also doing it on a Saturday. So you have the rest of the day, to nap or whatever. And then you have the Sunday to recover as well before you get back into the old, the American dream. So there's that. Kudos to that guy. Bar hopping. I mean, and you got to do it in a place like Philadelphia, because I feel like if you did it in a market such as Bismarck, are you going to find anything until 8 a.m.? I can only think of like 2 bars off the top of my head that even open at 8.
Yeah, I think some of them, it's just they get like the shift work guys that work at like the paper or something,
or nurses doing overnights. I've heard.
Yeah.
From bartenders that nurses that are finishing up an overnight shift that they like to get after it a little bit.
Yeah, I think the earliest I've ever drank a beer was like 5:45 in the morning. And that was like curling related because we had to curl at 6 a.m. outdoors and it was so hot out that we had to do it super early. And yeah, a 5:45 beer that you're trying not to puke up and then you have to go curl is just not where I would want to be in life.
No, I hear you. I remember College Game Day, the show. They came to Fargo, North Dakota, so I went and hung out with my buddy Brett, also known as Donkey Brains. And I remember like we partied the night before or whatever, but didn't like go like too late. Maybe we didn't even sleep. I guess I can't really remember. Regardless, this was like, it was the craziest thing in the world because College Game Day, obviously like a Saturday morning show. So like the crowd was going nuts because it was Fargo and they, it just hasn't really it never was there before. So it's cool. I mean, I respect them for that, celebrate that. Something new, something unique. But I remember we went to downtown Fargo because that's where they were doing, like, had the set. And it wasn't quite, like, it was still dark out. So it was probably like 5 or 6 in the morning, give or take. And I remember walking into an apartment and there was like a full-on party going on. And I was just shocked Like I thought we were just gonna go meet up with like a few friends who were just kind of getting going for the day, and we opened the door to this apartment, and there's just like a full on party in there at 6:15 in the morning.
Oh man.
Never seen anything like it. You definitely got to plan for a nap later in that day. I mean, your whole day shot. What can you say? But speaking of college game day, we'll end up with just a little bit of sports talk. Matt, apparently the Pac-12 is coming back, and you didn't know this.
I feel like I knew it, but I just didn't know what. I thought they were gonna like merge with the Mountain West or something.
Well, this comes from directly from the Pac-12 website is the source. Apparently, this was written on February 11th. The new Pac-12 announces its 2026 football schedule. First year of the new league to feature a 7-game conference schedule, a home-hosted championship game, and a home-and-home flex matchup the final week of the regular season. So they announced it like late that night, apparently. But yeah, apparently the Pac-12 is back. They got Boise State, Utah State, Texas State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State, Oregon State, and Washington State. So apparently, if you don't have state in your name, you're just not allowed. And according to my calculations, that's only 8.
Yeah, I don't know why the Pac-12 and the Mountain West didn't combine, because there's a clear overlap of teams, and now NDSU is in the Mountain West.
And they're the favorite to win it. Did you see that?
Really?
I saw something about them being the favorite to win it because they are going to propose or appeal, I guess would be the word, because when you go from like into Division 1, you have usually have like a 2-year probationary period where you're not allowed to do like bowl games or conference championship games or even college playoff games for that matter. But NDSU apparently is going to appeal that because they like already are the early favorite to win this Mountain West Conference. I have no idea who else is in the Mountain West. I couldn't tell you. I see Boise State is going back to the Pac-12. They were Mountain West prior, correct? Okay, so I
Anyone
really have
good out of the Mountain West is now in the Pac-12, and the Mountain West is currently just like New Mexico, Northern Illinois, because that's pretty mountainy. UTEP, UNLV, Wyoming, San Jose State, Nevada.
so not great. Well, I got to give kudos to I believe it was Oregon State and maybe one of these other teams.
Washington State.
Did they stay in the pack on their own?
Yep.
This past year, and there's literally 2 teams.
Yep.
Okay, so Oregon State and Washington State, kudos to you guys. You really held firm. You're like, hey, you know what? Like, we're gonna like keep this thing going. I'm a firm believer that there should be some sort of pack whatever conference. I don't know if they're gonna be, powerful enough or good enough to be like automatic bid type conference, but I just think for the balance and the stability of college football, I think there should be some sort of pack conference, whatever that may be, and whoever that may be made of. I'm just glad to see one. I mean, these aren't like small schools. They're not the biggest either, but I mean, that's like a decent start. And I think over the next in 2027, they could get 4 more teams perhaps to join and make it back to that Pac-12. At that point, you just got to do your recruiting, produce some good football teams, and put some good football on the field. And I think it'll be fun. But yeah, according to this, there's a Pac-12 is coming back, Matt. So good to see. I think for college football, just kind of balance it back out a little bit. This whole flex schedule that I've tried to read in is confusing. That last week of the regular season, they're gonna like pretty much be able to like dictate whatever matchups they want. But it is a round robin, so they will play everybody within their conference as well as start the season out with 4 non-conference games. So could be cool. Could be fun to see. I don't know. Time will tell. Maybe I could be wrong, but I just think for balance in college football, it's cool to see the Pac-12, even though there's only 8, which is kind of redundant, back.
Yeah, if you want to come see me, February 27th, 28th in Bismarck at the Bell Mayhoos, I will be hosting open mic night February 25th at 5th Underground. I will be in the Hettinger Dickinson area the weekend of the 20th and 21st of March. And then if you're a Wilton High School student, I'll see you on the 28th.
Oh yeah, we got to prepare for that. Come see me Wednesdays, Barstool Scottsdale. I'll be there. If I say it out loud, then that'll prompt me to be there.
Go.
I'm getting back on stage. 2-month hiatus. What can you do? I'm getting back. That's our show for today. Follow us on the socials. Tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you listening so much. We'll see you next week. Love you.